So Jarrah, who was the Saudi embassy director of Islamic affairs, and a member of the GIP, he worked for the he worked for the General Intelligence Presidency as well, which is a Saudi spy agency, and he operated within the Islamic Affairs Department. So Jarrah was close in ties to Prince Bandar in the embassy, who he worked for, and Jarrah was in charge of communicating with these other two Saudi state members, Tumari and Bayoumi. So Tumari, who was in direct contact with Jarrah, who was in direct contact with Bandar. So the chain of command: Bandar, Jarrah, and then at the bottom, Bayoumi and Tumari. Bayoumi and Tumari answered to Jarrah, who answered to Bandar, Prince Bandar, who was the U.S. ambassador. So there was a call overseas asking for Tumari, saying the guys were coming in, needing to be picked up in L.A. airport, going to San Diego. Tumari, who again reported to Jarrah, who reported to Bandar. Tumari denied knowing Hazmi or Mindar, who again were the terrorist hijackers who were implicated in this document. But these two terrorists, they flew into Al-Qaeda. They flew into L.A. on January 15th, 2000, after attending an Al-Qaeda summit in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So they were known to have been in an Al-Qaeda summit on January of 2000. So Tumari had a taxi driver pick up Hazmi and Midhar and take them to an apartment that Tumari had rented. Then following that, the FBI says that Tumari was meeting with Hazmi and Midhar in the King Fahad Mosque. That's the mosque in San Diego that Tumari was involved with, and Tumari was tasked with generally managing Sunni activity and reporting on Sunni Salafist activity within the California area. So Tumari was meeting with Hazmi and Midhar in the King Fahad Mosque on a nearly daily basis in San Diego. So and Tumari was Tumari had arranged for Hazmi and Midhar to be picked up at the airport, and then gave them a temporary residence in one of his own apartments, one of Tumari's apartments. And again, Tumari was coordinating with Jarrah, who was answering to Bandar. Then this brings up Bayoumi, the other co-subordinate of Jarrah, who answered to Bandar. Bayoumi helped Hazmi and Midhar with day-to-day activities as well. He found them a place to live, and Bayoumi a more permanent place to live, I imagine. And Bayoumi met with them in an LA restaurant called Mediterranean. I don't know if it's the title of the restaurant or a basic description, but it was a Mediterranean gourmet restaurant, or it was named Mediterranean Gourmet Restaurant on Venice Boulevard in Los Angeles. And what we also know about Bayoumi is that Bayoumi was believed to be a Saudi spy, and we know that he was being paid a monthly stipend. He was being paid a monthly stipend from the Saudi GIP, that's their intelligence agency, and Omar was also being paid monthly stipends from Dala Avco. So Bayoumi was being paid directly from the GIP and the Dala Avco. And so he, along with Tumari, Bayoumi and Tumari were both in direct communication with Midhar and Hazmi. So Midhar and Hazmi, the terrorist hijackers, were in regular meeting with Bayoumi and Tumari over the course of the year 2000 and early 2001, where they were getting set up in the United States, in California. Tumari and Bayoumi met with them in San Diego and LA and coordinated and supported their efforts, gave them homes, regularly met with them, and these guys were directly working with, and they were directly working under Musaid al-Jarrah, who was the Saudi Embassy Director of Islamic Affairs and a member of the GIP, and Jarrah, who was working under Prince Bandar bin Sultan Al Saud, who was a Saudi U.S. ambassador, who was the Saudi U.S. ambassador from, I believe, 1983 to the year 2005. So here we have a chain of command leading from the U.S. ambassador, from the Saudi U.S. ambassador based in Washington, D.C., and through the embassy's so from their religious organizations that they had within the embassy that they were spreading outward. There was Tumari, Tumari was involved with the Office of Dawah, which is also part of the embassy. But Tumari and Bayoumi, who worked directly under Jarrah, who again worked directly under Bandar, Tumari and Bayoumi were coordinating and communicating with and providing economic support and basic support to Nawaf al-Hazmi and Khalid al-Midhar. So there you have it, the 6-person chain of command, which led to the very provable support and coordination of 2 of the 9/11 terrorists out of the 19, and then 15 of those 19 were Saudis, and Al-Qaeda itself, the organization of Al-Qaeda, which coordinated the entire attack based out of Afghanistan at the time, and managed by Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden, of course, was a Saudi national, and the whole organization of Al-Qaeda was being funded by Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia was funding its Wahhabism, and much of that money was going towards Al-Qaeda. And here you see the chain of command, where it proves very clearly that yes, the Saudi state officials working under the Saudi government were coordinating with terrorists who went on to hijack those planes on 9/11 and crash. And the 2 that were described in this FBI document were on Flight 77, which rerouted back from Dulles International Airport in D.C. back to D.C. to crash into the Pentagon. So yes, we're getting something of a full picture here. We don't know 100% about the other 17 terrorists, hijackers on 9/11, 13 of which were also Saudi nationals. And again, the 2 that I was describing here, Midhar and Hazmi, were also Saudi nationals. But so the 4 Saudi state officials were, as well as these 2 who were described here, as well as the other 13 of 17 who were unnamed in this out of the 19 total 9/11 hijackers. So what we're seeing here is obviously a very coordinated effort from the Saudi regime, which is proving not just to be incredibly evil and harmful to the U.S. and a leech, and a disgusting leech on the U.S. society, but also just one of the most despicable terrorist organization, a funder of terrorism. This rot goes all the way into the top echelons of the Saudi government, and hopefully this kind of information keeps coming out. For some reason, it took this long for this information to come out from the FBI, and of course, I don't trust the FBI as far as I can throw them. But these documents, they've come out in this way, and they've been corroborated by many sources, and I don't see what the FBI, why would our own government lie to us about, why would they cover this up for so long and then and tell us now? It seems that this is very revealing, and again, take it with a grain of salt that it's coming from the FBI, but the FBI infiltration still gets to the truth of many matters. The FBI may pretty much fabricate stories, but what they came to prove here is that it was the Saudi government that fabricated this event. So I would take some credit to what the FBI is saying here, but this is a very unfortunate. It's a scary revelation here, and it really goes to prove what a lot of people were suspecting for so many years about the evils of the Saudi terrorist regime. Thank you.